Hey guys, Logan here, and yes, you guessed it, we are building our race bike engine from scratch today. Now the crankshaft made really good progress on that last video and pretty happy with it so far. I also got given a dividing head, so now I can cut the gear on the crank. But I'm actually not going to do that right now because he also gave me this big ass angle plate, which I should be able to use to mount some things in the mill, which I've been wanting to machine for ages and haven't had the correct tooling to do so. The first of those is the crankcases. So these are FXR 150 cases, stock bore 62. We're going to 67 mil and de-stroking it to keep it within capacity limits of the class. And we have a bigger sleeve, so essentially it doesn't fit. So first things first, going to go chuck this in the mill with the cases and see if we have enough vertical clearance to run the boring head. Got bloody heaps of room. That's good. Here we are after a bit of faffing around. As you can see, we got it to 0 degrees, and yeah, I'm going to have a wee bracket there. This is the stack height for the shims, and I'm going to use this plate as the reference. I've actually got a couple bolt holes which line up, but before I do any of that, I want to take all these bearings out because some of them are actually in good nick, and I don't want to destroy good bearings for no reason. And there we are, it is all shimmed and bolted in and feeling pretty solid, so we'll just have to see how we go. Still on 0 in both axes, so it should be pretty good. Now I'm just going to zero in on this hole and I can start cutting. This insert is no good for aluminium, much better. There we are, work to treat, very happy with that. Right, come on barrel, fit first time please. Oh, oh come on. Studs are lined up. Oh, that's what it is. Right, you see down there how there's a taper? That was essentially, wasn't planned, it was supposed to be flat, but there was the oil squirter which cools the piston, which is very important. I didn't want to machine it off, so yeah, I had to put this taper in, which means to make the barrel fit I have to put a matching taper on the barrel, and then it should go down flush. And a little bit of messing around later and I have got it to sit down nice and flush. There's a few things to tweak. For example, for some reason, yeah, having the second dowel in, this one here, is not letting it sit down flush, so I have to do some measurements, figure out how far off that is, but yeah, not looking too bad. The next machining operation on the sleeve will be to machine in the oil jet cutaway, which will keep the piston nice and cool. There we go, that cutaway should do the trick. I've just put the big vise back in the mill, I've trued it up, and that is because we're going to be working on the cam caps now. So that is what we've got, our big piece of billet aluminium. So first things first, we've got to cut this into a couple smaller, more usable pieces. Holy crap, look at that surface finish left by the boring head. I think I'm going to be using that a lot more often. So this is looking pretty good. I've done as many operations as I can in that one position. So now I've just got to give it a quick deburr and then flip it, and we can start doing some of the oil galleries. Getting ready to drill the final oil gallery, and look who decides to be on camera again. Say hi.
Subscribe.
I mean, meow. Right, yeah, anyway, last oil gallery. This one's on an angle, so I've got out the digital angle gauge. I've just chucked the boring head back in the mill, and I'm going to do some quick roughing for where the camshaft is going to run, and then yeah, when it's bolted to the head, I'll be able to do the line boring. That is our intake cam cap mostly done and dusted, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I did manage to make one screw up. That hole there is not supposed to go all the way through, so I'll have to blank that off, otherwise I'll be losing oil pressure. And it seems to line up pretty good with all the dowel holes and everything on the cylinder head, which I'm very happy about. And the next thing I need to think about is the oil transfer to the exhaust cam cap. So my plan currently is I have a whole bunch of small tube. I've even bought a bender, but it looks like I might even be able to cheat and just have it come straight out of there and essentially cross the wee gap into the exhaust cam cap. So I just got to figure out how to get that to seal, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, so that should be pretty easy. And now I'm going to move on to the crankshaft. Okay, so finally got my hands on R6 crankshaft and conrod and stuff like that. Now, this is important because essentially I've designed this to fit an R6 rod, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but that doesn't fit. So I'm going to have to, yeah, adjust the design slightly, make this a little bit wider to accommodate the R6 rod. And yeah, change the fillet to suit, because I sort of modeled it after a V10, which is slightly different. Essentially, the main difference is how the conrod is centralized. So on an R6, it's centralized on the crankshaft. They have thrust surfaces here to stop it moving side to side. On a V10 conrod, they're essentially located by the piston, which sounds a little bit crazy, but I suppose friction-wise it makes sense. There's probably more horsepower to be had this way, and it allows you to have quite a big fillet radius on the big end, which obviously strength and stress and stuff like that is very important when you're spinning 20,000 RPM. So I'm just going to change the crank to match the R6. And then yeah, we should be good. So I'm going to go chuck this back in the lathe, had some more tooling turn up so we can make some more tools, and yeah, we'll see how we go. The crank's all set up in the lathe and was about to hit record, but I realized I don't actually know what target I'm aiming for, so I need to go do some measuring. Right, so I am happy with the big end. I did overshoot the diameter a tiny bit, but that's all right because this is the mock-up crank. So I did something dumb. I accidentally fucking bent my dead center by being a knob, dropping something. Right, it was a little bit unorthodox because I think these are normally ground, but I used the hardest insert I had, and I just put the compound slide on the same angle, and yeah, I got it within 1/100th of a mil, so that is going to be all good. And now I'll chuck the crank back in and get back to machining. My God, was it painful to get to this stage, but got there in the end. The live center hole in the end had come off center as well, so I had to mess around and get that running true again. So a lot of messing around. Now my plan is going to whip this out, going to flip the crank and going to put the four-jaw in, and then I should be able to remove all this crud off here, and then I should be able to dummy it up in the crankcases and see how everything's going to sit. Got it running within 1/100 of a mil. Now it's time to machine that off. Right, I'm just going to let that crank cool down a bit because she's pretty hot, and I'm going to remove the monster that's been growing from under the lathe. I think I'll name him Oscar. Quickly just got to split these cases, give them a quick clean, and then I can put those main bearings back in and dummy up the crank. Time to start piecing it together and see little things that I've overlooked and what I need to alter for future design. So first I'm going to chuck this conrod on the crank. Now I have had to put the crank back in the lathe a couple times and sand where the bearings are going to go and polish them to make them the most perfect fit possible, because I did just try to fit it in here a minute ago and it didn't fit. But right, next, going to chuck on the balancer gear. Now, it's not got a locating pin or anything at the moment, so snug fit too. There we go. And yep, so we're going to put this in the right-hand case. There we go. Everything is a pretty tight fit, which is good. This side is normally a press fit, but I've made it a slip fit for the dummy crank because it'd be a pain in the ass having to press this apart and together every time. There we go. I'll just put a couple bolts in the case. We have no spinny. I think I've got the clearance slightly wrong. I bet you we loosen these off a tiny bit. There. Starts freeing up. I'll just leave them a tiny bit loose just so that the piston can move up and down. But yeah, I have a feeling I know what is touching. Now there's no rings on the piston just because that's also no point having them on there. Geez, that's cool. Hell yeah. And I can't bolt the head on because, of course, if you look this way, the piston sits proud, only slightly, and because there's no combustion chamber on the cylinder head at the moment, there's no point bolting anything on. What nonsense. Anyway, Editor Logan here, and I thought I would show you it all bolted together, at least the bits we've got so far, and yeah, pretty happy. She's looking pretty spiffy, starting to look like an engine. I did put the cam chain guide in for the tensioner because I wanted to see how we're looking with our sprocket alignment and everything, and with the head on and stuff, and yeah, we're looking pretty good, so that's good. But yeah, clearance. We are missing clearance somewhere. I think it's between the bearing on this side and the crank. So I'll just undo those couple bolts and we'll have a look. Oh yeah, you can see that plain as day. So you look there on the crank, you see that wee line? So that there is from the crankcase bearing outer race. So the crank was touching this race here because it does sit proud. It's a little hard for you guys to see, but it doesn't sit flush with the aluminium, and so that is the issue there. So all it needs is there needs to be a slight bit of relief in the crank web on this side. For that, the other side has the balancer gear, so that is no biggie. And yes, that's pretty cool. I've still got a few more mock-up things I've got to do, which I'll probably do off camera. I've got to make sure the balance shaft and gear is going to fit when it's all timed correctly. And the same on the other end of the engine. I need to make sure that the big end is not going to touch the gearbox, because I am a little bit worried about that, because you look at the size of the big end on the factory one, it's pretty darn small. So with these bolts and everything, it does make it a bit chunkier. So I need to make sure nothing's going to touch there. Now, if you want to watch the previous video on this adventure, then that link there will send you to that video. And otherwise, this has been Logan from the Motorcycle Forge. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.